Martin Eden Story Summary and Conclusion. Martin Eden is a deeply philosophical novel about a person's attempt to create himself, social inequality, love, and spiritual emptiness. This narrative retells the events of the novel in chronological order, using a literary style, and concludes with a general reflection. At the center of the story stands an ordinary sailor whose journey toward great dreams ends in tragedy. Martin Eden's background. Martin Eden grows up in poverty and experiences life's harsh blows from an early age. He does not receive a formal education and leaves school early, yet he is physically strong, determined, and intellectually sharp. His life is spent at sea, working on ships, enduring hard labor, and living through countless adventures. For Martin, life is a constant struggle, and he never learns how to surrender. Life at sea allows him to see the world and encounter different nations and cultures, but these experiences fail to fill the inner void within him. Martin feels like a nobody in society. His existence revolves solely around earning a living, and he has no clear or ambitious dreams for the future. Meeting the Morse family. A turning point in the story occurs when Martin accidentally meets Arthur Morse, a young man from a wealthy family. Martin helps Arthur during a street fight, and in gratitude, Arthur invites him to his home, the luxurious residence of the Morse family. This house represents an entirely different world for Martin. Spacious rooms, elegant furniture, bookshelves filled with literature, and refined conversations amaze him. At the same time, he becomes deeply aware of how crude, uneducated, and out of place he is in such an environment. Meeting Ruth. At the Morse household, Martin meets Ruth. She is refined, educated, a university student who loves literature and art. For Martin, Ruth is not merely a beautiful young woman. She symbolizes. Martin continues sending his stories to publishers, only to receive the same response again and again: rejection. Editors describe his writing as raw or unsuitable for the market, while some never respond at all. These rejections crush not only his finances, but also his emotional world. Each time he opens an envelope, a spark of hope arises, only to be extinguished by disappointment. Yet Martin does not lose faith in himself. He believes the real problem lies in society's inability to recognize true talent immediately. Hunger and physical suffering. Writing pushes Martin deeper into poverty. He pawns his last possessions, his clothes grow worn, and his room becomes cold and dark. Sometimes he goes days without food. Hunger weakens his body, but sharpens his mind. At times, Martin becomes so exhausted that he nearly collapses while writing. Still, he never puts down his pen. Writing is life itself for him. Not writing would mean death. The cooling of Ruth's feelings. At first, Ruth admires Martin's determination and self-discipline. She sees him as someone striving for knowledge and self-improvement. Over time, however, her feelings change. Martin's poverty, lack of stability, and absence of social recognition began to frighten her. Ruth loves Martin, but her love is conditional. She loves him only if he chooses a proper path and a socially accepted profession. She considers writing a useless pursuit and urges him to abandon it. This creates a deep conflict within Martin. He loves Ruth, yet he cannot abandon his dream. He becomes torn between love and personal freedom. Martin and society. As Martin educates himself, he begins to understand society more deeply. He studies philosophy and social theories, adopting ideas of individualism. He comes to see society as a system divided between the strong and the weak. Martin believes that a person must rise through personal strength, labor, and willpower. He has no faith in society's compassion. These views The most painful realization for Martin is society's sudden change of attitude. Those who once despised him now admire and respect him. Even Ruth's family praises him as a talented writer. Martin understands the truth. People do not love talent, they love success. Had he remained poor, no one would have remembered him. This realization fills him with bitterness and disgust. He sees society as false, hypocritical, and driven by self-interest. Ruth's return. After Martin becomes famous, Ruth reappears in his life. She now respects and admires him, attempting to rekindle their relationship. For Martin, however, it is too late. He no longer believes in Ruth's love, knowing it is tied not to his character but to his success. Though he still feels something for her, he is no longer the man he once was. Coldness and indifference dominate his heart. Fame and loneliness. Martin is now famous, yet he has never felt so alone. Surrounded by people, he finds no one who truly understands him. Conversations feel shallow, relationships artificial. Writing itself begins to lose meaning. Once his reason for living, it now feels like a mere profession. Inspiration fades. Wealth, fame, and recognition fail to fill the emptiness inside him. Inner crisis. Martin begins questioning himself. What did I sacrifice for all this? Love? Friendship? Myself? The answers bring no comfort. He grows tired of life. The dreams that once drove him forward now fade. At the peak of success, Martin realizes he is standing over a deep inner abyss. Turning away from life. Despite his fame, Martin's passion for life disappears. The forces that once sustained him, dreams, love, ambition, are gone. He observes life from above, feeling only exhaustion rather than joy. He hears people's words but feels nothing. Praise sounds hollow. He walks among the living as a stranger, knowing that everything society gave him came too late. Longing for the past. Martin frequently recalls his childhood and life at sea. The ocean represents freedom, sincerity, and a world without lies. At sea,